Speaking of Nothing But Thieves, here they are. Hello, Nothing But Thieves. How are you guys? You well?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Toby?
I'm very well, guys. Thank you very much.
We're all good.
You're all good.
All right.
You're good. Joe's good. Dom's good. Connor's good. This is good. Connor, first of all, explain, what are we doing here? What's happening? How's it all going to work?
Well, we are doing a live stream show. We are on this lovely big stage. We obviously plan to have a few people here, but we can't now. But we're going to have the best time possible through the internet, like you said.
Actually, it's not the best way to enjoy the internet.
It's second best.
Yeah.
YouTube and other stuff. There's other stuff.
Funny cat videos.
Close second.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this is the second most fun you can have on the internet.
Yeah,
Completely agree. Completely agree. We must talk afterwards, actually. Now, you've done a bit of practice of this. You've been doing your own gigs online. How weird is it to perform without an audience there? Dom?
Oh, go on.
Well, I'm going to pass this one to Joe.
Thanks, mate.
Joe, I'd love to hear your opinion.
It's not good for the ego. There's no applause, no screaming. For our shows, we had like applause and sort of whoops and stuff on a keyboard and like John Cena sounds and stuff.
Just to keep us entertained. Really.
But it's something. Like we've missed music loads, so I miss going to gigs. So to be in a venue as well is amazing.
You do tend to lose yourself once you start playing anyway. So it feels like you're at the gig anyway. We just enjoy playing so much that it will just come out tonight as well.
I guess it's going back to your roots, isn't it? It's kind of how it all started out, because when you first started...
Playing to no one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We did that a lot.
Yeah. Still do some places.
How much have you missed playing live?
Massively. I think I didn't quite realise how much it's a part of my system until we couldn't, because we were obviously on the rat race with it constantly for the last 7 years. So I think we all kind of relished the break in a way. And then 6 months passes and you're like, oh my god, like I need to sing like Annie. Whatever.
Freddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I really, really miss it so much. You don't?
No, I've got other bits and bobs on at the moment. A lot of DIY to be done.
You're a busy man. You're a busy man.
I'm still getting through that, but next year at some point...
Maybe do.
Hit me up if you want to do a gig.
What does Nothing But Thieves in lockdown look like? Because like Conor said, you guys have been, touring and putting out albums so long. So, Joe, I mean, have you like the rest of us, have you been watching Tiger King at home and playing FIFA in your underwear?
Did all that, completed Netflix, done that.
Yeah.
Tiger King feels like a lifetime ago,
It does.
Oh
That was this year.
God.
That's mad, isn't it? We all did a bit of self-discovery. I think you take the time to do it if you've got the time. And I'm like done with that now.
Yeah.
Consider me self-discovered.
I found myself. I don't like it. I'm going back to where I was before.
Back to the road. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I've done story of every musician ever.
There's a popular supermarket that we can't mention names because there's loads of different supermarkets that you can
they're
buy
all
stuff
brilliant.
from. And they're all great, equally as good. But
you mentioned YouTube, like the biggest tech company.
And there's also some... this supermarket, we've got an amazing wine deal on at the moment, and Joe and I have basically gone, we're going into a month of lockdown, let's get some wine, and then we'll wake up at the end of it. While drinking responsibly, I must add.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Thanks for doing all the T's and C's so I don't have to, by the way.
Right.
I really appreciate it. It's quite reassuring, I guess, because I've never been stood on stage with loads of adoring fans singing my songs back at me and stuff. It's quite nice to know that you've done the same lockdown that the rest of us have done. Have you Zoom quizzes? Have you done a Zoom quiz, Conor?
We did them together. Again, you don't realise how much of a family you are until you've got 2 weeks off each other. So literally the first sort of 3-4 weeks we were doing Zoom quizzes together, and it was lovely until it was a Zoom quiz, you know what I mean, until everyone got bored. So we did, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
It was good. It was fun, and then we stopped because it got boring.
Yeah.
Like, you've noticed no one's doing them now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you are, like, come on. Who's enjoying that at this point?
But to be honest...
Self-cancel my Zoom quiz I had lined up on Saturday. It's a no from Dom. OK, fair enough. Genuinely, there's been a lot of talk about it, and venues have been struggling, and people mentally have been struggling. How important is the return of live music for yourselves? But it sounds ridiculous, for the world right now. How important is that next year? Dom, how much are you looking forward to that?
I think I find myself listening to music more than ever, actually. And I think that's probably because, one, we haven't been playing it, and two, haven't been able to go to gigs or festivals. So I've kind of sought solace in that. And I think that's why it was an exciting time to release a record over lockdown and over this pandemic, because people have been finding that sort of respite in music and that comfort. And we've discovered a lot of new music over lockdown. But I think through that you start finding bands and music, and it reminds you of what live gigs are, and you're like, I would love to see this live, I can't. And you're sort of looking at your watch going, come on, get that vaccine out, which you've got some good news about, hopefully. So yeah, it is a bit like just waiting to get hit the road again, but yeah, just miss it a lot.
I completely agree. I feel like I had so much time to listen to albums in their entirety. Nowadays, it's, you know, with all the different ways you can listen to music, you listen to a song there, but listening to albums in their entirety in lockdown is one of the positives. I guess that leads on to you guys. Obviously, you put the brilliant album out, which got a huge reaction, which I'll ask you about in a sec. But how much of that album was done pre-COVID, pre-lockdown, or did you find with the spare time, are you sitting on a mountain of material that you can kind of play around with next year at all?
We did the entirety of Moral Panic before. We had it recorded basically this time last year, I think, roughly.
Yeah.
November-y. So yeah, it wasn't it wasn't planned to be like, let's do some songs right about COVID on the spot. It was, an element of, I don't know, it fit in better now in a sense, because everything that we were writing about the veil has been pulled off even more, I'd say. It feels that it fits in more now, because the topics we were writing about were happening then, when we were writing it then. And yeah, now we've been churning out stuff just for fun, really. When we could meet up again during that kind of that mid-lockdown break between the lockdowns.
The fun time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We got together, which was really nice, and we'd all been writing by ourselves just for fun. And then, yeah, it's been really good. And I guess because we've had no real pressure, it's been some good stuff, some really kind of experimental stuff again. Always changes.
We're kind of still in that headspace as well of Moral Panic, because we wrote an album called Moral Panic, and then there was a Moral Panic.
Exactly.
So now even the stuff we're writing now, we're debating what we're going to do with the material, because it kind of feels in a similar world. So we're sort of thinking about that now. I don't know yet. We'll see what happens next year.
When you guys did meet up, I guess it was a bit like that when you were a kid and the summer holidays came to an end and you all got back to school and you all compared notes. Did you walk into the studio and, Joe, were you going, oh, guys, I've written all this, or I've come up with a few ideas over here, and Dom's got, I've written some stuff over here. Did you have a load of ideas ready to go?
Yeah, I mean, that happens most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
I think we write separately, but only a little bit. I think we sort of spawn ideas, and then the idea comes to fruition when we come together. I think the song just comes out better that way. So we're always doing that, but this has been a good opportunity to do that.
And it's just been fun and something to do, because we're supposed to be on tour properly, and we can't.
Well, seeing as you called your album Moral Panic, and then there was a Moral Panic, your next album, can you give it a happier title, please? Yeah. Can you just say, like, Huge Adorable Kitten Invasion or something?
Yeah.
If it's going to happen.
It needs to be slightly uplifting. I mean, we did, to be fair, we tucked in a few there was a light at the end of the tunnel within the album, and it was important for us to do that, because a few of the songs are quite dark at times and quite quite honest in, and I think we needed that sort of hope, because otherwise you're listening to it going, God, this is bleak. And you want to listen to it and go, this is bleak, but there's also this, and I don't feel so bad at the end of it, and I'm not crying anymore.
Well, the album got a massive reaction. So first of all, thank you for putting it out, because it was much needed. Like you said, I think the timing ended up being pretty perfect for a lot of people.
Yeah, strange.
I've been obsessed with the album. I've been banging on about it on my show. The RadioX listeners have been obsessed with the album. How pleased have you been with the reaction?
Really pleased. I think because normally you'd find out the reaction when you tour. So when we did the last record, we put the first single out, I think we went to this first little show and they knew the song, or knew the words to Amsterdam better than we did. It was weird. So you can kind of gauge reaction that way. So to not be able to gauge it via an audience was strange. But just seeing it all align and obviously seeing it digitally, we've really seen a really strong reaction to this. I guess more so than you ever expect. We're not, we never expect anything to happen with it. We write for ourselves in a sense. So it's always incredible that it connects to people and it keeps growing. So we're just happy to be here, to be honest, mate.
Well, it's very nice to have you here.
Very honest.
It's true.
As it feels from the outside looking in, like this album, you guys have maybe stepped up a notch. Maybe it's further reaching than ever before. It feels like, you're not a small band anymore. You're Nothing But Thieves. Has it felt like that from the inside? 'Cause from the outside, it's definitely felt like that.
There's probably like an element of feeling like you've grown in your taste and your ability and writing and what we love to create as a band, but I wouldn't say it's like a pressure, because you often get told with each album that comes, especially album 2 and 3, that the pressure is more than ever. But I think we just get excited. We feel like we've learnt more things that we want to try and integrate into our songs, and it's just an exciting and creative space for us. And it's because we're all on the same plane and we have the same opinion on what we think is good. It makes life a lot easier. I can imagine it's been quite rough for bands who, one of the writers likes this and one of the other writers like this. It's not really like that for us. So it's, like I say, it's just good fun. And yeah, we feel like, I wouldn't say we feel like we consciously stepped it up. It just felt like we were writing the songs that we wanted to write on the last album, but we've just done it now, you know.
Give it 10 years, you'll hate each other.
Probably that. And also, the funny thing is, we'll probably hate the music that we've written, because I look back at other stuff and I go, oh, do you know what, we've kind of outgrown that, or we would have done that differently now. But I think that's why that's sort of seeing your own development. When you look back at stuff that you've created before and you go, oh, we may have changed that a little bit, or, you know, your taste changed. So I quite like that part of it.
Joe, I'm going to target you because I reckon I can break you and you're the weakest. 2021,
yeah.
What does that look like for the band? What can we expect from Nothing But Thieves when it's hopefully a whole new world again?
I don't think I'm going to... We're playing the O2, so that's good.
Yeah.
There's nothing else announced.
No, there you go. I mean, I'm hoping we do festivals. It really depends on the time, doesn't it? We've got a lot of new songs to play, and I think because we did these stream shows, we sort of worked on some live elements, like we added jams and sort of, as Don was saying, because our old material kind of feels a bit different to us now, we're in a position where we can change the songs up a bit and maybe do like new versions of our own material, which is quite cool. So I think that's what we might look into for when we can eventually tour again.
Awesome. Well, we very much look forward to tonight, and we very much look forward to seeing a lot more of you next year. And like I say again, genuinely thank you for the album. I know it sounds like, but thank you for the album. It came at the perfect time when we were all losing our minds. It was a brilliant album. So thank you so much, and looking forward to tonight, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers. No worries. Thank you very much. Nothing But Thieves. You have been watching Radio X Presents with Barclaycard.